Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz, January 25, 2020, 5:28 p.m. in Birmingham. And this topic is important in two ways, and I think it's worth listening to. Um, I got most of it from Don Stewart, who I listened to just recently, and that was Sign of the Times with Don Stewart and dated January 9, 2020. And it's on YouTube, and it's really important. You may want to go look at it, especially when you get to the 45-minute mark. Wow, what you hear from there is a shocker. And a shocker because it's a reality. It's happening. It's taking place today. And I'm about to tell you that. The first one, there's multiple subjects, by the way, in what they're talking about. It turns into question and answer that they can't get them all done. But the ones that hit me the most, the first was beginning in September of 2020, this year. If you have a student, grade school, and we're talking about grade school, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and up, if they talk back to their teacher, argue with the teacher, or completely disobey the teacher, they cannot receive a reprimand, cannot be suspended, don't even know if they can have the right or will have the right to tell their mother or their parents about their actions, their way they act in class. That, guys, is important because the book of Daniel, God said, keep this part of the book closed. Daniel would never understand it, but those in that day would understand. Guys, we know what the book of Daniel says and the understanding of it because it's been made known to us just in the last 2 or 3, 4 years. This that we're talking about now is in the book of Daniel, discusses this very subject. And that is bad for our children, very bad. If you think that there's problems in the schools now, you wait until they can't get in trouble for doing these things at all, and then see what happens. That's later this year. And I just want to make this part of it very clear to everyone concerned. I believe deeply in my heart, if one of these children that may act up or may not, according to how they were raised or what they believe, if they are at the age of accountability, you know exactly what I'm talking about, if they're at that age and have accepted Christ as the Lord and Savior, in my opinion, it is not likely that they're going to act up in class. If they are at the age of accountability and kind of live in a Christian family that's not very strict, they still may act up in class. That is, if they haven't yet been saved. If they have been saved, again, the age of accountability, I don't know, it could be 11, 12, 13. If there's a child with Down syndrome, it may be 18 or 20 or 25. I don't know. But the point is, they're less likely to act up. They're more likely to go to school to learn. That is becoming a law in September 2020. Just thought you'd know it. And this is straight out of California. When you think things weren't bad enough, you just wait until September. And what's going on in New York today, anti-Semitism is raging in our country. May not seem like it, but it is. There are attacks on Jews everywhere, every day. In New York, there was one woman that attacked 3 women, 3 Jews. I don't know their ages, but enough that the police had to be called, and this woman was carried to jail. But that's where the problem was, in jail, because they didn't lock her up. She just had to sign on the dotted line that she'll promise to be in court on this day, and she was released without bond or bail. In an hour, she was right back out on the street. In less than an hour, she was caught once again beating up on a Jewish woman and went back to jail, where she signed on the line, promised to come to court, and without bail, once again released. This is a new law. Anti-Semitism, anti-Christian is going to be on the extreme rise in our country because of this law. If a Christian is attacked, they're going to get out. And it goes as far as, in some cases, if someone dies. Manslaughter, in some cases, will be able to sign their own bond and walk right out of jail and come back on court date. Guys, this is a major problem for our country. This is what Daniel, the book of Daniel, is telling us today, what's coming, and we're seeing it. Now our eyes are open. We see what the book of Daniel is telling us. And I just wanted to bring that up to you, make you aware of it, because I can see this being a major problem. And with it, I can see a lot of things that's going to get much worse. And here's my personal view, my personal opinion, and nothing else. I wouldn't bet a penny on $1 million that I was true, but I'm just telling you my opinion. Looking at some of the things taking place around the planet today in different countries, and the way people are positioning themselves, and even in our nation, something's about to happen. Something's going to happen. And all this jogging in position around Israel, they're getting to the point of where they have Israel on all sides, even the Mediterranean. And it's not going to take long for them to finish what they're doing there. That means having their strongholds in place. But again, this battle is God's battle. And when Ezekiel 38 war takes place, God will, inside of an hour, it'll be over. And then there'll be someone to quickly come on the scene and want to bring peace and sign the immediate peace treaty in which they will accept. This simply means that if all these things come together the way even the Russian president thinks they may come together, and a lot of us, the way we think, and a lot watching outside from the outside of what's going on, guys, I can see that by May 2021, the final 7 years of our time will hit about that day, right around May, mid-May. Final 7 years. That means the tribulation just about has to begin. And if that's the case, the church has to leave. God moves his people out of harm's way to safety before that harm comes. He did it to Noah, and he did it to Lot, did it in other places. He's moved people out of harm's way. And just as the church will be moved out of the way so that the end can come, so that the final 7 years can come. And I think that's why we have Trump here. I think he's here for a lot of things, and one was to do what he did for Israel, recognize Israel as who they are, and the capital is what it is. And look, the stuff going on in these things that's happening are just the dreams of the liberals. They love it. But the only bad thing is they're going to have to live in it, and we're not. Just be ready and make sure if you have a young child, a young person in school, age of accountability. We don't know what that age is, but they're smart enough to be smart. You know what I'm talking about. They need to know that Jesus is their Lord and their Savior. Please, Jody Wolf, Expoz.